Hi, I'm Tia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you 8 backlist books that I want to prioritize for 2021. Okay, so a couple weeks ago I looked back on my priority backlist list from 2020, the 20 books I wanted to read in 2020, and I will leave that video linked down below, but spoiler alert, I didn't do very well on that list. And so you might be thinking, Tia, why are you doing this to yourself again in 2021? And the answer is, I don't know. No, the answer is that I have a ton of books that really are high priorities for me. And originally I had 20 books on those lists, maybe more than that. And I was like, no, you cannot have this many books. You saw how bad it turned out for you last year. So I cut it down to 8. And I'm hoping that 8 is a more reasonable goal for me. If you watch that video, you know that 8 is much closer to the number that I actually read of the 20 books I said I was going to read. So maybe I can actually read 8 priority books in 2021. So I'm going to show you these books and tell you what I know about them or why I want to read them. And if there's any here that you maybe have on your TBR or you are interested in reading, I would love it if you would let me know if you want to possibly buddy read one of these. That would definitely give me even more incentive, an extra push to get them off of my TBR. If there's multiple people who maybe want to buddy read, we can always get like a group buddy read going on Instagram. That has worked out really well for me in the past. I did a few group reads over on Instagram in 2020 and I enjoyed all of them. So just let me know if you want to read any of these. These are in no particular order. They're just stacked up here by size. So let's just do it. First one is the beginning of a series that I have been wanting to read for a while, and that is Is For Alibi by Sue Grafton. This is the beginning of the Kinsey Milhone series, and this is a mystery series that takes place in a fictional Santa Barbara town. So Sue Grafton actually lived in Santa Barbara, California, and so she based this series on Santa Barbara, but the town in the book is actually called something else, I believe. And this, every book in this series, has another letter of the alphabet, but she passed away before she got to Z, and I think the very last book that she wrote was Y, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And I would really like to read this entire series in 2021, but I'm not making that a goal because I know that it probably won't happen. I mean, I would like to do it, but yeah, maybe it'll take me probably 2 years to get through these, but they're rather short and I definitely want to make a start on it and just see how much I can get read in 2021. And yeah, so let me know if, like I said, have you read this? Did you enjoy this series? Do you want to reread it with me? Or maybe, you want to start this series. I would love to have anybody join me that's interested. I would like to try to read this first book in January and then see what happens with the series after that. So the next one is Magic Bites by Ilona Andrews. This is a series that I have been wanting to read for a few years now and just keep putting off. I don't know why. But I think this is going to be like a perfect series for me. For everything that I've heard about this book, it just sounds like it is right up my alley. This is the beginning of the Kate Daniels series. I think there are 12 books in this series. I could be wrong about the exact number, but this is a paranormal urban fantasy series. And I think that it has a romance that plays out through the entire series. But from what I understand, what I've heard people say is that the first book is not the best book, but that the series as a whole is amazing. That the first, it takes a while to get into the stride of the book and to get going with all of the action that's going to play out. And so I really, really want to read this, and it's time that I made it a priority. So if you want to read this with me or reread it, I would love that because I really want to read this book. Okay, this one is Stormfront by Jim Butcher. The first in the Dresden Files, another one that's like an urban fantasy book that I have been dying to read, and 2021 is going to be the year that I start this series. This series has a ton of books in it, but I've heard nothing, literally nothing but great things about this series, and it sounds like it is right up my alley. I think that it has a whole bunch of paranormal creatures in it, and it follows this guy who's a detective, and I can't wait to read this. So, again, if you would like to reread this or read this with me, let me know. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the other one in a series. So this one is just a part of a trilogy, but this is Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Eames. I had every intention of reading this in 2020, but I just didn't get to it. So I definitely want to make it a major priority in 2021. Hopefully at the beginning of 2021 is when I will read this one. This one is a fantasy series that is about this band of, like, I think they are thieves. I could be mistaken. And they are sort of past their prime, but they get back together. And yeah, it's supposed to be like really funny and just a really well-written romp of a fantasy adventure series. And it sounds like something that would be a 5-star read for me. So definitely want to read this one. Then I have two that were on my 2020 priority list, but I didn't read them last year. So I am bumping them up to this list for 2021. The first one being Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. This one is following a woman who I think has to keep reliving her life. Like, I think she keeps getting born over and over and reliving her life. And you probably know this about me already, but I really enjoy anything that plays with time tricks or the multiverse or reliving different time periods over and over. It's something that I really enjoy reading about or seeing in movies and TV. And this has been one that I really think will be a 5-star read for me. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I think I might be just afraid that maybe it won't live up to my expectations. I don't know, but this is one that I really would love to have a buddy read with, because it's a rather large, intimidating book. Yeah, so let me know if you're interested in that one. The other one from my 2020 reading list that I didn't get to is The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. So this one sort of sounds similar to Life After Life, as in it's following Harry August, who is living his life, over and over. And just like that one, it just sounds like something that would be right up my alley. I think maybe I just haven't read it because I'm intimidated. Again, I know that it is not going to be like a super fast read, that it's going to be something that I really have to focus on, probably make sure that I'm reading it when my kids aren't running around me, that type of thing. And yeah, I know this is going to be a 5-star read. I just need to do it. The next one is The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. So this one is another one that I believe plays with time travel or like reliving parts of your life, something to that effect. I've heard great things about this book recently, over the last year, I suppose, and great things about like every one of Diane Chamberlain's books. So I definitely want to read something from her, but out of the ones that I own, this is the one that I think would be a 5-star read for me. So I'm putting this one on my priority list. And then the last one is another one that I really meant to read in 2020, but I didn't get to it, and that is As Bright as Heaven by Susan Messner. I'm probably the last person who is interested in this book who hasn't read it yet. Definitely not the last person to read it, because I'm sure there are people who don't care about reading this, but it just seems like everyone who is remotely interested in this read it in 2020. Yeah, but I haven't read it yet. It's one that I got in 2018. Did you see that? It's a Book of the Month Club book that I got in January 2018 and haven't read yet. And this follows a pandemic that's taking place in 1918. So I've been wanting to read it because, I've heard that Susan Messner is a really great writer, but also just the fact that it's taking place in a pandemic is, something that's really resonating with people right now, and I definitely think I would be no different. I read Fever 1793 this year, and that one was an amazing read for me, and I think that this one will be too. So I would like to read this at the beginning of 2021, January or February. So yeah, again, let me know, like the other ones, if this is something that you would like to buddy read with me. I'm definitely looking for people who would give me the extra push to pick up these things that I really want to read and just keep pushing off to the side. Okay, those are all of the books that I'm putting on my priority list for the year. I definitely have some other books in mind. Like I said, I made a big list that had way more than just 8 on it. So I have a bunch of other books in mind that I want to get to in 2021. I'm just not gonna throw it out into the universe so that I end up being embarrassed by this huge list that I didn't make it to. Yeah. But let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these, or if you want to read them possibly with me. Let me know what your priority book list looks like for 2021, or if you are just going to be a mood reader and take it as it comes. I know there are a ton of people who do that, and I do that too. You know, I definitely like to mood read as well, which is probably why I ended up not reading everything on my 2020 priority list, but now I'm just rambling. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you next time.